Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Muhammad, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Yun Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jaronism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Life is Short, Matt, Naibai, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally Ballis, Skeptic936, Sam Hine, Texas Mike, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app, new Patreon. Very good to have you. Thank you very much. Big shout out to you, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app, for your patronage. Theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker and Tom Herkins. Massive shout outs to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we are joined by Flatzoid, Paul and I believe Righteous Force in G+. Good to have you all.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Hello. How's it going? Good weekend?
Hello. Yep.
Yeah,
So
busy weekend.
it was a relaxing weekend.
Yeah, same here. Very nice. No complaints.
So you want us to chatter while you figure out Discord?
Is Discord not working?
You're not in there.
Oh, that's easily solved.
Falling and
I just heard 10th Man, I thought. Is he in here or is he in Discord?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm here. I couldn't get on. I'm on Discord. I'm talking to RC Meister. Yeah, he fell off.
How's the tent?
Had you
Eh,
guys like that GIF
Hey,
I
classic.
created?
Brilliant, Paul.
What's that?
The gas pressure.
Sorry. Yeah, the gas pressure,
okay.
the
Yeah,
GIF.
I saw that going into the outer space. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that's more like it, huh?
You would think.
Yeah, I was just talking to RC Meister. I hope he gets back on, but I was just talking to him about the 8 inches per mile square, and it should be seen obviously by everybody all the time from different elevations, and we just don't see it. And then you guys have to, meaning the Globies, have to talk about superlooming and mirages. But if the Earth was 25,000 miles in circumference, and that breaks down to 8 inches per mile square, this should be the eighth wonder of the world, or whatever, one of those wonders, to where you could just say, hey, look at that, gravity holding the water sideways. We don't see any of that.
Yeah, that's because it's fantasy.
Right, so use your head. So we go to the Sea Sparrow missile system, 34-mile distance, which is probably more, but even with 34 miles, it's got to go through 24 miles of water to get to its target, shot by a surface ship at another surface ship. So how does that work? Well, it doesn't. Unless it's a flat. Unless it's flat.
Don't you know that radar bends around the curve, 10th Man? Don't you understand that? It propagates around the curve?
Well, that's what RC was trying to say, that it can and it doesn't. And I was saying, if you're on one side of a basketball and I'm on the other side of the basketball, of course, to this 34-mile distance, and there's 24 miles of bulge between us, and it's water. How's the RF going to go through that?
So is Austin Micey trying to say it's Snell's law?
It might be at a snail's pace, but I don't know if it's snail's law.
Because you need a barrier for that to happen.
Yeah, I'm not
Didn't
familiar
FE
with
Core
snail's
just
law.
do that with the? Was it microwave? I think they did a microwave test, long distance.
Well, I was trying
Yeah,
to
it
tell
didn't
him
work.
that when I had my boat and I would go to Catalina, sometimes it was foggy, just you couldn't see anything, and I have to resort to my radar. And there were shipping lanes, and the big barges go through the shipping lane. So I would see the blip, and I would know that that's a barge, because obviously when I went to Catalina, I knew where they were and I knew to look for them. So, but since I couldn't see them with my eyes, I had to trust my radar. So the mechanisms and radar that do better than my eyesight or my ears, they save lives, right? I mean, you need them, but you can't see 34 miles with your eyes. But if you have radar frequency, or radio frequency in this case for the sea sparrow, it's working different than the way your eyes would work. And so it goes that far, it bounces back, it has a signal, it locks on. You can't do that over a curve. Impossible.
Hey, 10th man, I just gave you 4 more pictures right now. I'm in Georgia, and you can look up at the sun through the fog.
Hang on. Oh, where am I? Screen. Is it in Discord?
No, I sent it directly to your DMs.
Okay.
9:45 where.
All right. Yeah, and water doesn't curve. Well, fluid dynamics tell you water doesn't curve. So you not only got problems with a globe and hitting something on 24 miles of bulge between you of water, but water doesn't curve.
Yeah,
You got
liquid
all
doesn't curve.
kinds of problems.
I might have something to present quick that I found yesterday. Are you busy, Nathan?
No?
All right, I'll share it quick. Share window. Okay, so yesterday I noticed it's like other content creators that are getting hit on YouTube by the new algorithm. So it's basically trying to promote like more authoritative content. So all the independent YouTubers are kind of getting hit. It seems like all of them. And then when I looked up authoritative, the first result I got was able to be trusted as being accurate or true, reliable. So even like the Google algorithm is pretty messed up. Just to
It's
give you
affecting
like,
everybody. It's about the corporate mainstream agenda. It's not just flat Earth. I mean, they're going after all genres that are non-mainstream.
yeah. And
Like television, we all ran away from television to come here, and television's like, where'd everybody go? So television came and bought YouTube, so then it's now it's TV. Wherever we go, they follow us.
Yeah, like my Facebook doesn't exist either anymore.
So yeah, they're like
the
changing
algorithm's
like
hurting everybody.
so they're like even changing like the meaning of words now. When you go to Merriam-Webster, it says having, marked by, or proceeding from authority, and they conveniently leave that out from like the first result.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yeah, well, Facebook disabled my account, 3 days ago.
What'd you say?
I said Facebook disabled my account 3 days ago.
They did.
Oh, disabled your account 3 days ago.
Yeah, I'll have to create a new one if I want again.
Do you say something about the Jews?
No. I was talking to some Globers and all of a sudden I got logged out. And then they wanted a picture of my face. I
Oh,
sent them one. but in the end they just said, nope, my account is disabled.
If we left
Yeah,
our YouTube channels alone and checked on them a year from now,
believe
half
water
our videos
curves?
would be gone.
Hey, gentlemen, I had a question.
Yeah, I hear you.
So why do you think that radar shadows?
What?
Why do radar shadows? So I can see an airplane on radar at 30,000 from 200 miles away, and at 5,000 from.
I'm not clear. You're coming in kind of broken, but I think if you're saying, why do you see something really far? Well, if you're aiming at the
radar shadows.
what define radar shadows?
So from 200 miles away, I see an airplane at 30,000 feet on radar, but I see it at 2,000 feet on radar from a mile.
Let me repeat. You see it at 30,000 feet, but not at 2.
Yes.
Well, without looking into it, just common sense tells me you're aiming up at a vast area that is open versus if you're lower, you're going to have obstruction.
Sure.
I mean, that's just, I don't know other than just a common sense answer to it.
Okay. Well, because we, as a pilot, see radar shadows happening all the time, especially across water. Go down to 2,000.
RC, let me, if you're aiming above where there's no obstruction, like mountaintops or buildings, or any kind of lower atmospheric conditions that might interfere versus stuff that's not higher up that won't interfere, not knowing that. Let me ask you another question. Do you believe water curves?
If there's a force action.
Okay, what kind of force could bend an ocean?
Gravity.
What kind of gravity are you talking, Newtonian or Einsteinian force space?
The one that causes 9.
I lost you. What?
The one that causes second squared
I still lost you. The one that causes what?
Acceleration.
First of all, you're talking about something that is 150 millionth and has no power according to your side. So how is that going to cause anything, even if it existed?
Because the oceans are big.
Yeah, that's the problem. The bigger, the harder. And if it's 50 millionth to 1 ratio, how's it going to do anything when your own site says it's hardly anything?
Yeah.
No, you got a problem. You got a problem because the helium balloon is anti-gravity then all of a sudden, if you're going to do that. And we know
it's not anti-gravity. The up rate acceleration.
No, it's anti-gravity because first of all, there is no such thing as gravity. They threw Newton's gravity 100 plus years ago, as you've heard many times on the show, and now you're into the bending of time-space, which no one could describe what it is and how in the world does it do anything. It's just Narnia talk. Water doesn't bend.
I mean, you can see it bending by surface tension.
No, surface tension on a leaf with a drop, yes, but that's not an ocean.
Right. Something. Gravity.
There's no such thing as gravity. That's all made up.
Okay. So something like the acceleration.
No, you're measuring something that's out of equilibrium. Look, in this equilibrium, looking to get back to equilibrium, and saying that.
So if it's not that, why is
you keep breaking up? You got to get a better signal. I can barely hear you.
Why is it hard to walk upstairs then?
Why is it hard to walk upstairs? How old are you?
I'm in my late 30s.
It was never hard to do anything as a kid, downhill or
But
uphill.
the question though is, why do you have to exert more force walking upstairs?
Well, it's definitely not to gravity.
Well, what is it then?
You're just exerting more energy. It's got nothing to do with gravity whatsoever.
Ask your sister to
why would
move
you have
down to
to
the
expend
second or first floor.
Why would you have to expend more energy?
Why do you have to expend less
Because it's more
walking
movement
straight
up and
or
down.
going downhill?
Radio check.
Yeah, what's down? What's down?
Hey, QE.
I said downhill,
Hello.
not down.
Back.
Yeah, but what's downhill
Hey, John.
versus uphill?
Well, you've been on a hill. You know what downhill means if you use the hill as your frame of reference.
Yes, but why is it down, up, and why does it center down?
You don't know on a hill what's downhill and what's uphill if
No,
you're on the hill.
I ask why does it take me to go uphill, downhill?
What the hell?
I don't know.
You're not
what this
making sense,
guy's
dude.
after.
I said, why does
Hey,
it
John,
take more
check-
energy to go uphill, downhill?
Well, let me ask you. Why do you think?
Because there's an acceleration. Because there's an acceleration downward. Second.
And how do you prove that?
Measure it.
How do you? I'm asking that. How do you measure it? By walking uphill?
Use an accelerometer.
Oh my gosh.
Silicon chip.
If we descended from monkeys, then why do we still have globetards?
They haven't evolved yet.
So maybe you descended from the gods, QE, but I descended to understand why is it. QE, why is it harder to up?
So you're going to use the uphill and downhill. Why is it harder? Why is it easier to prove a globe? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to beg the question there? That's like saying if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, that proves a globe. No, it doesn't.
I'm just saying you're asking to prove downward acceleration. Example.
Well, tell me why the helium balloon is not doing downward acceleration.
I really didn't want to get involved, but that's not what this argument's about. So the argument is about how a massive body of water that by its nature is finding and maintaining level would be bending, and R.C. Meister's argument is gravity, and you're asking, well, what's that? And we've got, well, how do you go upstairs as the answer? That's what we're at.
That's funny.
No, more specifically, why is it down?
My point, RC, was that rather than giving us an explanation of what gravity is, you're asking us questions about how to exert force going upstairs and things. You know, the question on the table is, what is that thing that you say makes water bend, even though water doesn't do that?
Well, water does.
Is he clipping bad for you guys too?
Yeah, it's awful. It's absolutely the worst possible line he could have.
Why don't you get out and rejoin?
He's done that once already.
I don't know what that would help, because all your points are nonsensical buffoonery anyway.
So QE, why is it upstairs than down?
Yeah, that's what I've just concluded, so that didn't go around in circles 6 more times. It's not explaining to us how or why this force that you haven't defined would bend water, which by its nature does not bend when at rest. So those are the questions on the table, but you've reverted to asking us questions, RC.
It does explain that there is a downward acceleration.
Excellent. Well, that clears that up.
So what is the cause for gravity?
Hey, Joe.
It's interesting, Nathan, how you spotted that early on, but just allowed it to go a little bit. How he went away from explaining water not bending and went into walking downhill,
No,
which
but
was.
I did explain it. I said there's on.
How did you explain it?
I said show it. And I said walking up the stairs.
Walking up a stairs takes more work. That's all. It doesn't prove anything. It just takes more work because you're walking up.
Or it takes more work in physics over distance.
How does that prove water not bending?
Right.
Because there's a force acting.
What? The force of walking upstairs? What a load of nonsense.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Quantum Eraser, Righteous Force, Chocolate Saiyan, 10th Man, Chibi Jedi, Flatsoid, and I think that's about it in G+. Good to have you all.
Good morning.
Hello.
And you didn't go live on my end on YouTube.
That's so. Did I go live on the wrong channel? That's probably what's happened. That's a reasonable assumption that I've not changed the stream key. Let's just see if that's actually the case. If so, this will make it to the recording and that live stream will get discontinued. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've started on the wrong channel. Let's end this live stream. I'll do that intro.
No. We'll blame it on the time.
No, you're on
the
Nathan
time
Oakley
change, the time dilation problem. So yeah, if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley channel by accident, then unfortunately this is going to be a very short show, as I'm going to bid you farewell immediately and then restart the show with the correct stream key. So a massive thank you to all of you tuned in live for about 30 seconds on this channel. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Yep.
Yeah,
No idea.
Hi ho. These things happen.
I don't think they're saying you didn't have to kill it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You know, a troll is now gonna take this clip and then make a 24/7 channel with that in a loop.
Well, me starting and then immediately ending.
Yeah,
like best
that
debate
is a
ever.
loop in 24 hours.
Maybe. We'll see. It'll just take me a minute or two to change stream key over. Of course, when these times where I'm under pressure to do something technical, that's always the best moment for you to all go completely silent.
I just woke up, man. I just got up a few minutes ago. I thought the show would be over, but you guys changed your clocks.
Like that.
And I was right. The show is over.
It's over.
No,
before it began.
actually, according to RC Meisty, the show's going downhill now.
Yeah, the terrible puns right before the intro.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. Hopefully. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Now, we are joined by Quantum Eraser, Paul, Chocolate Saiyan, Arwin, Flatzoid, Jibby Jedi, and Righteous Force in G+. Very good to have you all.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again.
Good morning, good afternoon.
So you actually turned that thing into a separate episode, did you?
You can hardly call me opening the show, immediately realising it's on the wrong channel, and then immediately closing the show as like a turnaround. It's just me ending that show professionally because it was on the wrong channel.
So it's on record the shortest show ever, officially.
No, when things get streamed on the second channel, they immediately go to unlisted. So for the very, very small handful of people that have watched it on the second channel, tends to be a more forgiving, understanding audience anyway. So I'm not too concerned.
Well, I'm gonna loop it.
Well, that's very gracious of you for the advert. Thank you very much, Arwin. So, any signs of Earth curvature?
Not from the Bahamas.
Not from my Ibiza. Any signs of axial rotation?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
No motion whatsoever.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Yeah.
No apparent distance.
Like hard evidence? No, I would have to say no.
No, is there any soft evidence?
There's not even soft evidence.
About tasty evidence? Any tasty evidence of the sun? No? About scientific evidence of gravity?
Yeah, just walk uphill.
Just walk up some
You have to know
stairs.
what it is.
Walk up some
Not from
stairs, right?
Vilnius.
I'm still waiting for Simon and Dan to supply me with this hypothesis for gravity.
Simon Dan doesn't know what a hypothesis is. I challenged him back when his channel first came out. He had like 120 subscribers, and I just accidentally got onto his channel, and he was talking his nonsense because he's a freaking clown. And I challenged him. I said, give me a viable scientific hypothesis regarding anything. Right. Well, guess what he answered. You guys waiting?
You don't understand?
He called me names.
Any particular name?
I can't remember, man. It was a long time ago.
Can't be that long. He's not been around that long. He's only been around about a year, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I'm getting old, so 8 months, that's a long time, man.
About any evidence of gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon for all the fundamentalist religious zealots who believe the sky is a vacuum called outer space?
Possible.
You guys enjoy that GIF I made? Didn't you enjoy that?
Didn't see it. Was it posted in Master B, I take it?
Yeah, I haven't seen a
Yes, it was.
demonstration of that.
Bring it up. Can you bring
Yes,
it up on screen?
I'll get it pulled up. Give me a second. I'll get it pulled up.
Cool. Any other evidence of gas pressure without a container? Feel free. Anybody at all?
Nah.
Not even the gas pressure gradient straw man being offered up today? Amazing.
Wouldn't the gradient become lighter gas the further
But
you
wouldn't that
go
also
up?
need a container?
How can the lighter gas be the container for the heavier gas? You know what I'm saying? Like they claim that the layer of gas acts like the container, no?
In some of their assertions, they would assert that the gas pressure from the air above forms a pressure on
The layer of the atmosphere above, yeah.
Yeah, a column below. Well, no, it's not. It's not I can never say this word correctly. Homogeneous, like plywood. You know, in harmony, layers. That's not how gas behaves. It's inhomogeneous, all mixed up.
Any evidence of
Any evidence of what? Sorry.
a sky container?
What, the necessary antecedent to have gas pressure? Well, we definitely have gas pressure. You'd require the necessary antecedent to have the gas pressure that we have. You could just walk outside and see that there's gas pressure, and we all know that the necessary antecedent to have gas pressure is a container. Unless you think otherwise, do you believe that the necessary antecedent
Any
is
evidence
not?
of it?
My bad.
Yeah, gas pressure.
Just
We
explained.
live.
Just answered.
Any measurement, observation?
Yes, we're living.
Gas pressure?
Well, there's no worries.
Barometer.
Sorry,
We wouldn't
the
feel
necessary.
that way if
Let me just
somebody could
explain.
demonstrate gas pressure without a container next to a vacuum.
Yeah,
being
let me just
maintained,
explain.
right?
The necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container. The necessary antecedent for gas pressure is definitely not a sky vacuum. So, of the two assertions, given that you must have a container to have gas pressure, and you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum, which scenario is more likely? That we, don't have gas pressure? What are you asserting?
I'm just asking if there's any evidence of a sky container.
I'll answer again.
Actually,
We
there
have
is blue
gas-
sky rocks that have fell from the sky that scientists have claimed are not meteorites.
Sorry, that doesn't answer his question. My answer did. He ignored it. Yes, we have gas pressure. And the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container. So you asked if there's any evidence, and I said, yeah.
But no observation,
I
no
hadn't
measurement
finished. What's your problem?
of a sky container.
I'm saying it slower, and you're interrupting the conclusion. I don't get it. Is this a problem for you? Seems so. Why would this leave you so triggered? Why is this leaving you triggered? Why is it that I'm not being allowed to conclude the point that you've ignored twice, and you feel it's worthy of interruption rather than address? Why are you so triggered by this point? Yes, it's the necessary antecedent to have a container, the one you're asking about. That would be the gas pressure we do experience. That is our evidence. The gas pressure. Perhaps you'd like to address this, given that the antecedent for gas pressure is a container. Not a sky vacuum. Not out of space. That would be a defiance of that.
You can easily research blue sky rocks.
That's nice, but that doesn't undo the container.
Yeah,
We're talking about gas pressure and the necessary antecedent for gas pressure. So if you globetards could show us how to have pressure without a container, then you have something to talk about. But you can't demonstrate here on Earth.
It has been demonstrated. You know perfectly
show it
well
to
it
us.
has been. Yeah, Blue Marble Science showed it to you.
No, he didn't.
Oh my
Blue Marble
God.
Science showed it to us, really.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it was an open container. It was
Open container. What a dick. So he showed us gas pressure without a container, and you say yes. He showed us an open container. That would be a container, Brenda.
It was open. It was open.
Sorry, are you deaf? Are you going to do an RC Meisty and just repeat the same thing 6 times to get my blood pressure as high as possible? Yes, I've addressed that shite. I've pointed out that the word container was in the description of the thing he used. Open container. Yeah, container then.
It's a pipe dream.
It's an open container.
So definitely not a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. This would be a demonstration of gas pressure with a container.
You need to have a closed container to
sorry, you're putting your fundy stipulation on open versus closed. Sorry, your fundy sky marble in a vacuum has no walls like this pipe analogy. So I don't really understand why the hell you're even bringing it up, as our definition is in regards to the necessary antecedent of containment. Now you're saying that it's open. All right, so a tyre with a puncture is no longer a container. An open bottle is no longer a container. Are you insane? To have gas pressure, you need containment. It is as simple as that. He did not demonstrate that. That is incorrect. You are wrong, and have proven yourself to be wrong by saying open container. Well, that's a container, Brenda. So you're wrong.
So if you have a puncture in your tire...
So you're wrong, and I don't want to discuss anything beyond you saying, yes, that's correct. He did indeed have a container. Unlike the assertion I made that he demonstrated gas pressure without one. He did have one, and I need to hear that before we discuss anything further, Brenda.
Can you have pressure?
Don't ask me anything. Say, I understand, Nathan. My incorrect idiocy that I asserted that he didn't have a container was wrong. I thought an open container isn't a container because I'm dumb. That's what I want to hear. I don't want more questions from a retard.
A tire with a puncture.
Excuse me, don't talk about tire. Talk about your assertion that Hillbilly Blue Balls demonstrated gas pressure without a container by way of an open container.
Yeah, a tire with a puncture.
Not tire. He didn't use a tyre. Your assertion was in regards to Hillbilly Blue Balls. You're clearly deaf and need it asserting 16 times. What's the problem here? Have you got hearing deficiencies or comprehension deficiencies? That's a new question.
A tire.
Not a tyre. You keep saying a tyre, a tyre, a tyre, a tyre. No. You asserted quite specifically that Hillbilly Blue Balls demonstrated gas pressure without a container. He did not. Now, I'm going to give you one last chance to address your incorrect assertion that an open container would be a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. That would be wrong, and I want you to damn well address it, or you don't ask and you don't say another word beyond my assertion that Hillbilly Blue Balls, or whatever the hell you're going to start that assertion starts with. That's what you're going to now concede, because you are wrong.
No, those were your conditions.
Sorry, I have said the same thing for about the last year and a half. Gas pressure without a container. You've said, yes, that's been demonstrated by Hillbilly Blue Balls. It hasn't. You are wrong. Don't critique the criteria that's been laid down for well over a year. I don't care if you like the criteria. Your assertion in the here and now is wrong.
That's a lie. We have...
Get out. A liar, stupid dumb cow. You are wrong, and you're just so stupid and proud that you cannot admit when you're wrong. Let's make it clear for the audience, despite her failure to concede. Yeah? She is wrong. She cannot demonstrate gas pressure without a container. Her assertion that some other idiot moron who bought in gas pressure in a container and transferred it to another container with the tagline in his title that he demonstrated gas pressure without a container. Clearly this headline reader thinks he has because he said he has. He's also as stupid as you, Brenda. The fact that this moron's making you declare that he's demonstrated gas pressure without a container when he had a open container makes you fundamentally moronic. And your inability to concede just demonstrates how much zealotry there is in the globe community.
Hey, share my screen, Nathan.
She was just trying to tire everyone out. As usual.
She can just walk upstairs. Then.
Yep.
All right. This is Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard, showing up trying to disprove gas pressure without a container by showing gas pressure in a container. Thanks.
Brilliant.
How many times has Brenda seen the guy bring gas pressure in a container, fill up his so-called test? I think that pipe went up, that PVC pipe that didn't have a lid on it, which is a container, by the way, went up maybe 35, 40 feet. And she's trying to say that is proof of what she's saying. Give it some time, Brenda. Everything will escape through that top hole. If that pipe was 3 feet wide instead of, say, an inch wide, it would escape much faster.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Not in the Marquesas.
No, but I did have a Tootsie. I did have a Tootsie Roll Pop and experience a center core of some kind.
What about the presupposition itself? Any evidence of the R value?
Nope.
Based on a circular light moving overhead, no, it's a grand assumption and presumption.
May I do the 8th question?
Yeah, you can feel free. I was just genning myself up and remembering all 3 disciplines. You go ahead.
Okay. Any single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of either astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Perfectly stated. Thank you.
I may have a special clip for that. I think I played it yesterday on my show.
Feel free.
I have to find it. Where is it? Oh dear, it's in the Master B chat, so that could be piled on.
Don't worry, we can come back to it, Armin. I think that concludes the housekeeping anyway.
But it kind of addressed the last housekeeping question. Where's that?
Is it a declaration that it's guesswork, fly by the seat of your pants sort of thing?
No, it was that one astrophysicist guy. What is he, Japanese or something?
Oh, yeah, Michio Kaku.
Yeah, that one, but I can't find it. If anybody else can find it, it's excellent.
It's fine. It's been well distributed amongst the community by now. And
Michio Kaku said that the flags on the moon are made of tinfoil.
They are when it's in Ballbusters, man.
Oh. There it is. Yeah, I got it. Okay, let me...
Michio Kaku contradicts himself all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, but not like this.
No, that's the one I'm talking. That's the best one, the one you're referencing. I can't wait for you to play it.
Sharing. Right. So here we go.
I've got to go.
We always say that you make observations, you have a theory, you go make more observations, and it's a very, very tedious process. Wrong. Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork. It's guesswork. It's guesswork.
Is he on our side?
He is now.
Classic.
Well, he's what you call a hostile witness. So same as Neil deGrasse Tyson. So Neil deGrasse Tyson asserts that a ball leaves the football field because it's kicked, and the Earth rotates underneath. So the Earth rotates underneath the football. It's travelling through the inertial frame and the ball Earth is a non-inertial spinning reference frame, giving you this deviation because Earth rotates underneath helicopters and drones and planes. Doesn't it, everybody? What's that you say? It doesn't? Oh, what a crock of crap that Neil deGrasse Tyson asserts, because he asserts that the Earth rotates underneath a football when it leaves the spinning Earth. So surely it's going to demonstrate that much, much greater effect when you've got things like drones that stay in the air for far longer than a football. Oh, he just is wrong, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He understands the rhetoric of a ball Earth and what it needs to do. It needs to spin underneath things that leave it. But that doesn't happen, otherwise drones would be deviating and not landing where they took off from. You'd have to account for this effect of Earth rotating underneath your drone. Or your flight time would be vastly reduced if you were travelling west, say from Charlotte, North Carolina to LA. And typically a 4.5 hour flight time would become an hour and a half because Earth's rotated underneath. So none of these devastating effects that would be obvious and observable were the Earth to be rotating underneath, as asserted by hostile witness Neil deGrasse Tyson. Then you'd have these reduced flight times and helicopters and drones deviating, etc., etc., etc. So it's a useful hostile witness. No, he's not on our side, but he's definitely going to get cited a few more times, right?
You should play that clip every time or after you ask that last question.
Agreed.
So if a tree falls, the Coriolis effect could move my house out of the way, in theory.
That's Coriolis fallacy, man.
Well,
why don't we have Coriolis insurance?
We should.
That's
Because
a different branch of science, the tree falling.
if the Coriolis effect was real on Earth, now Coriolis effect itself is real. It's easy to demonstrate. You have a roundabout, you have a drone, and then you push the up stick on the drone, and it hovers above the roundabout. Now, because you, observing the drone, are rotating underneath, it seems to fly towards you and fly away from you, from your position. But in reality, it's you that's spinning and it that's hovering. So that's how you have Coriolis deviation. You just observe something that's underneath a rotating frame of reference. Well, Earth's rotating according to their rhetoric, and because of this rotation, if something leaves that frame of reference, like a ball in Neil deGrasse Tyson's example, Earth will rotate underneath it. Well, Earth would rotate underneath drones, helicopters and aeroplanes if that was the case. So it's very useful to tie down what rotation of the Earth would actually cause according to their rhetoric based on what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Now, for newbies, they might go, why is it useful to assert that? Doesn't that just leave you with a general idea that it might be rotating if you didn't follow along with what was just said? Well, yeah, that's an unfortunate byproduct and probably why they used Coriolis deviation with its confusing reference frame titles to prove that the Earth spins. Because when people come down here to the trenches of fighting for Earth rotation, they will justify why planes don't deviate, and helicopters don't deviate, and drones don't deviate. And Simon Dan will come along with a trampoline with some man bouncing and going, look, no deviation. But Neil deGrasse Tyson makes it plain. There should be deviation if Earth's rotating. You just don't observe it in anything beyond his football example that lasts about 2 seconds. But things that have a longer hang time would definitely demonstrate it, just like the drone on the roundabout demonstrates it. The longer the hang time, the more Coriolis effect, if there is any. You just don't see it on anything beyond a 2-second claim to be hang time with Coriolis from Neil deGrasse Tyson. But this
Shout
is
out
different.
to Brenda for having more balls than the cowards in the Discord chat tapping their keyboards.
Hey Nathan, check this out.
What have you got? Let's have a look. What is it, Armin? Tell me about it.
Yeah, you're seeing the same thing I am. Or, yeah, this product posted in Master B.
Coriolis style mass flow meter.
Controller for gas or liquid.
Very good. Yeah, you're giving Brenda props, but she's coming in with the most useless arguments and then just sticking her heels in rather than ever conceding that she's made an error in her claim. They need gas pressure without a container because they've got a fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum because NASA says they're doing stuff in this Narnia-type land of sky vacuum that you can never go to. So they need there to be this violation of a law of nature. And whenever we say, no, you can't violate that law of nature, if you could, it wouldn't be a law. They say, oh, we can. Here's a moron showing gas pressure in a container. That proves you don't need a container. Well, that's very frustrating and moronic and not a rebuttal.
And intellectually dishonest.
What's the apples to apples comparison there? What's the container of Earth that has a hole in it?
Say that again.
What?
Like, if they're going to use a container for an example to describe the apples to apples thing that we have here, well, where's Earth's container?
Oh, I see. How is it like that pipe? I.e., how has Earth got great big massive long walls with a hole at the top? Well, they haven't.
Precisely.
It's just directly next to or in the vacuum. It's a speck of dust in a massive vacuum with a tiny bit of gas pressure relative to the enormity of the never-ending, increasing, vast vacuum. So, but it's still claimed that this insignificant speck of dust that we're supposed to believe we're living on is maintaining gas pressure next to an infinitely expanding vacuum. It's utter horseshit. It defies natural law. But they'll still claim that they've got demonstrations of gas pressure without a container by way of some moron transferring gas from one container to another. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's apples to bowling balls, not apples to apples.
I had to take a phone call. Did you guys like my GIF that was demonstrating this?
You've mentioned this GIF, but
Let me
we've
reshare it
yet to
again.
see it.
Okay, well, I had it up there. It was playing in the background here. I'll do it again. Bear with me.
Grr.
Just wait for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Just watch.
It looks like Hillbilly Blue Balls missing a blue ball.
There you go. And the gas will fill the space.
Isn't that what hydrogen is doing on the ball, going all the way to the moon, making the moon and Earth's atmosphere? Hydrogen has escaped all the way to the moon from Earth. Hence the headline, Earth is now in Earth's atmosphere.
Escaped, you say? Does that include the supposed gravity pull? So why is it still hanging around?
Hydrogen being lighter than gravity, yeah.
So how is that gas still hanging around at that huge distance? At that huge distance, when gravity supposedly is less strong.
Right.
Maybe it's a combined effort of Earth and Moon's gravity holding it to just those two celestial bodies.
Really?
Gravity
I think
doesn't
it's
do
rather
that.
combined effort from the people making up how this shit's supposed to work.
Yeah, exactly, are we? It doesn't matter where they push the Tor values to. It's an open system in a vacuum. So the gas would fill the space. It's just that simple.
And if hydrogen is filling the space, wouldn't the other gases be doing the same?
Yeah.
None of
It's
this
filling
crap
the
is
space.
happening.
But that means expanding into. So why does it stick up until that distance? Then
Doesn't.
that's not
It wouldn't. It won't. It violates natural law. It's the debunking of their sky vacuum religion.
The minute Hillbilly Blue Balls brings his gas in a container so that he could prove you can have gas without a container, you got to be laughing your head off.
Hello, Ninja. I don't think I've seen you before. How you doing?
Oh, you unmuted me? Oh, thank you.
Good to have you.
I'm a round ball earther, I guess you would say. Right?
Why on earth would you be a ball earther? It's a crazy notion.
Well, it might be. Right. You were talking previously about how how is the gas on the Earth encapsulated, right? That's what I would suggest to you, like if it was flat, how is the gas that we have that we do breathe encapsulated?
That's a very, very good question. My answer would be, I have absolutely no idea. However, I know it's definitely not encapsulated by a vacuum because the gas would want to disperse into it. So while I don't know what the sky is,
I also wouldn't suggest that it is encapsulated by a vacuum, right?
yeah, it
That
just isn't.
That would be crazy talk.
Yeah, well, that's what the
Like if
heliocentric
it was,
religion is, though, isn't it?
the
See, my point. I was just going to round out my point by saying, while I don't know what the sky is, I know there are people who assert that it's a vacuum called outer space, and it couldn't possibly encapsulate, to use your words, the gas pressure that we definitely do experience if it was a vacuum, because the gas would fill that space.
Right. So there would be no gas. There would be no air on the Earth.
That's correct, Mr. I believe in a globe, in a vacuum.
Or water.
Right.
Or water.
Right.
No air or water.
Yeah, with
Sure,
the
it would
pressure
like
sufficiently
the
decreasing,
wa-
everything starts to evaporate.
water would turn into like in a vacuum. Water would turn into a vapor
You're
and
not doing
leave
very well,
the Earth.
considering you said you are a globe believer. But yes, you are correct. The gas and water would instantly vaporize, and we wouldn't have either.
I don't think you answered my question. Like, what is actually keeping the gas and the water on a flat Earth?
That's a very good
Container.
question. That's a very good question. But by way of your phraseology, encapsulate, or whichever word you choose to use, it recognizes
I'm only using your own words, Nathan. So I'm sorry if I'm utilizing the wrong words.
No, not at all.
I'm just utilizing
I
your
just didn't get to the end of my explanation. So the fact that you are utilizing this word, encapsulate, means that you acknowledge the requirement for containment. And my explanation doesn't require me to define what the sky is when there's a whole religion that 90% of the Western world by default believe they are a part of, where their sky isn't encapsulating. In fact, it's a vast space for the gas to disperse into. And that ultimately means that that isn't what the sky is. It doesn't matter whether or not I know what it is. That really makes no difference. But I know what it isn't. Definitely not a sky vacuum. I appreciate it's the second time that I've tried to get to the end of this point and you're keen to interrupt me. I appreciate that. But I would like to just conclude by saying, I know what the sky is not, and there is absolutely zero requirement by me, a humble man, to tell you what it is. But people do tell you what it is. Not me, I might add, because I could be wrong. But I know what it isn't. It's not a sky vacuum, and your belief in a globe is based in a sky vacuum, you appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I believe in gravity holding the gas.
Gravity doesn't do that. No, gravity does not do that. Maybe it's a misapprehension about what gravity is.
What's gravity? We just spoke of hydrogen escaped all the way to the moon, so gravity didn't seem to hold hydrogen in.
Yeah, but what kept it from going beyond into the vastness of space?
The moon and the Earth's gravity together, hand in hand.
There is an interaction. There is an interaction between the gravity of the moon as well. There is also. It seems like now we know that there is a bunch of atmosphere going outside of the realms of the moon area now.
Keeps appealing to gravity. What is gravity?
Well, gravity is the interaction between particles that give particles weight. The particles interaction between themselves in en masse make a large amount of weight. That's how gravity works.
No, that's wrong.
Apparently. It's a distortion in space time.
Well, that's something very. It's distortion in space time.
yeah.
Sorry, no worries. We're getting somewhere. So we'll just no worries. We'll just ignore the first bunch of word
But
salad.
I'd rather not talk about what I believe in.
Why not?
Space time. I'd rather go back to how we have water, air, those sorts of things on a flat Earth. Like, how does that? Like, how does unless, because you have said yourself before, Nathan, that it must be encapsulated to keep it on Earth. So your own words said before that this must be within a glass dome. Like, I can only think of your words as saying these things must be encapsulated or kept on the world within a glass dome.
I haven't said that. Did you not listen to what I did say to you? It's like so many people who come here.
Is that not what you
hadn't finished, my friend.
said
I let you get to the end. Do you mind not talking while I talk? Is that possible?
Well, I didn't want to mischaracterize you. I'm sorry.
You just need to shut up while I talk. Is that possible? I'll try again, maybe? I gave you a very specific answer. Do you remember what the answer I actually gave to you is? Let's forget all of the misrepresentations and word salad that just came out of your mouth. We'll get back to bending of space-time soon. However, I did, prior on this very show, to your complete mischaracterizations and misrepresentations of what I did actually say to you in that very regard. Can you remember what I said to you? Let's see how well you were listening.
You said that the vacuum of space could not keep in a vapor.
No. You specifically made certain assertions in terms of what the world being flat was based on what I said. And then you talked about the word encapsulate, which was one of the words. Again, I'm gonna struggle to have this conversation if when I talk, you begin talking for some reason. That's the second time I've said this to you. Is it possible for me to complete a sentence without you talking while I'm in the middle of a sentence, please, sir? Is that possible? It's getting to the point where I'm going to say it's not possible. So, I'll try again. You asked about what is encapsulating the flat plane. You asked me that question at the start and I gave you a very specific answer. Do you remember what that answer was? Because it didn't involve snow globes and domes. I didn't say those words.
I don't remember you giving me an answer.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll try again. Let's see how quickly I get interrupted. I said, that's a very interesting question. What's the sky? Essentially would be your question. Hope I'm not mischaracterizing you by paraphrasing your question shortly and keeping it concise. What's the sky, Nathan? Given that you know implicitly the world is obviously and observably flat, what does that make the sky? And I said, that's a very, very interesting question. I don't know the answer to that question, but I know what it isn't. And I also know that there are people out there, definitely not me, who do assert what the sky is, and they assert that it's a violation of a law of nature, because they've got little videos from there. Now, I'm admittedly taking a little bit of liberty with what I say here. That's not verbatim what I told you, but I made it clear in my answer that I don't know. I'm not some sky god. I don't know what's up there, and I haven't studied it, And I've not really got any ambitions in that regard, and I've not made any assertions in that regard. But there's this whole religion that you are part of that asserts what our sky is. That's not me. I don't need... Excuse me. I don't need to make a claim about what the sky is to take a giant dump on the claim that it's a vacuum. There's no requirement whatsoever for me to suddenly become your source of information for what the sky is. I don't declare to be an expert in the sky. I never have, and I've never made any claims about it. It's so surprising that people come here and use words like snow globe and dome when I make it explicitly clear on multiple occasions that I make no claim and don't need to. Now, you've said in words like encapsulate, demonstrating to me, without any claim that you can take apart, that you understand that we need to be encapsulated to have gas pressure. I understand that too, sir. So I'd prefer, given that you can't shut your mouth while I get to every conclusion, I'd prefer that given that you've declared that you believe you live on a marble in a vacuum, so you have a positive assertion by default in this regard, not me. Don't know why you're asking me what the sky is. I didn't put some sign above the show that said information on the sky is found here. But I can definitely tell you that your religion's wrong and we don't have a sky vacuum. Now, given that I've been told that there's a sky vacuum and you're here thinking there's a sky vacuum, I'd like to know why. I'll make it plain for the 5th time. I don't need to make a claim about what the sky is here. There's already a claim that's wrong. Vacuum, wrong. Definitely not outer space, it's fake. Maybe you'd like to address that, given that's the predominant religion that everybody believes in, not what Nathan thinks. Shock horror. So who gives a crap what I think about the sky, given that the predominant religion thinks it's a sky vacuum, including you, sir? Maybe you'd like to address that. Or is what Nathan thinks of the predominant importance here? Nathan's view is definitely more important than an overriding view that the entire Western world holds. No, Nathan's view's much more important, even though I make absolutely no claims and get straw men like you coming along with bloody snow globes that I don't declare and domes that I don't talk about. Yet you've decided what I'm claiming, even though I'm not an arbiter of what the sky is. So maybe you'd like to address the fact that it's not a vacuum.
Well, that's okay. That's reasonable, Nathan. You're absolutely right. I should not have come in and made claims that I can't back up, especially about your beliefs or your knowledge. So I won't do that in the future. I'm sorry about that. Absolutely.
I don't want an apology. Your sky in your religion is a vacuum, and that's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics and gas law. Can you address that, please?
In my belief, I think that the gases that are held to the world in the globe is held here by gravity.
Excellent. Back on track at last. So we had a load of word salad about objects of mass attracting one another. We brushed all that past when you said bending space-time. So maybe you would like to show us some conceptual time. You know what a concept is, right, mate? Some conceptual time. Rhetorical, mate. Rhetorical. You know what conceptual is, right, mate? Rhetorical question. So let's see some conceptual time being bent and giving rise to a not actual force called gravity. Can you show us this complete nonsense, please?
Gravity would be a force.
No, that's incorrect. It's just correct, this moron. You didn't listen to the words I just said. No, it's not a force. You are incorrect. How long will this take for a concession?
Is it okay for me to talk without you interrupting?
You're wrong.
You
are wrong. Is it unacceptable for me to let you go on indefinitely when you are incorrect. Nothing I have asserted so far here required interruption, because I'm right. Now, you're wrong. Gravity's not a force, your opening declaration. I will absolutely interrupt your completely incorrect assertion. Now, how long will this take for you, the wrong one in this assertion, to concede your idiocy? Do I need to shout at you because you feel that you're being wronged by me interrupting? No, I'm not wrong. Your incorrect assertion's being addressed quick, sharp.
It's an assertion of acceleration.
You said gravity's a force. Don't whistle past my interruption because you felt wronged, victim status suddenly. You're wrong. It's not a force. Let's just get that nipped in the bud. We don't need another 20 minutes going around in circles about what I believe or some crap straw man you've held up about me. Let's just get straight back to this point now, without delay. It's not a force. Comprende?
Okay. It is.
So is that it is? Do I need to interrupt again? Was that it is? It
Hold
is?
on. Don't interrupt me.
I just need yes or no answers.
As a force, but it's not. You're right in a way, Nathan. You're right. It's not actually a force.
No shit! Yeah, I comprehend this completely. That's why I interrupted you. Maybe you'd like to apologise for taking victim status and constantly interrupting my correction of your idiocy. That's right, dick. Yeah, I interrupted you, and now I'm going to start insulting you. You are correcting my interruption and playing victim when you are wrong, aren't you? Not a force, as you declared.
No, it's not, but it is an acceleration.
I couldn't give a crap what you're about to declare. Let's get back to my question before you start spewing. Show me, I'm speaking slower, because it's already been whistled past and an incorrect declaration been made afterwards, that it's a force when it's not. Show me a concept that would be time bending to give rise to a not actual force called gravity. Show me space-time.
Space-time?
Yeah?
Space-time and distance?
Yeah, show it me. Show, yeah, you're asking for clarity. It's not rhetorical. I'd like to see a concept being bent to give you a not force.
Yeah, that's how GPS
Excuse me, you don't need to interrupt. I know this is heartbreaking for you, the one who believed in this force. We're already pummeling you, and you're just at the point of breaking, aren't you? Where you need to constantly rumpus your embarrassing stupidity being held bare for everyone to see. Yeah, I understand that you need to obfuscate the correct points coming through so you can make incorrect assertions non-stop. Well, no. You sit there and listen to me berate your stupidity. Conceptual mediums being bent won't give you a force to hold gas on a marble in a vacuum. Right. So, see, it is definitely triggered Fundy. Yeah, you said gravity holds the gas on Fundy. Yeah?
Okay, I get it, man.
You don't need to interrupt. You're just as bad as Brenda, you moron. I don't need you to tell me the penny's dropped. We've got an audience, you stupid man. You nodding along is just interrupting. I get that this is taking a long time. And I get it. I finally get it. You don't need to interrupt to demonstrate how stupid you are. You just need to shut up while I tell people how stupid you are. Concept spending. Don't nod along as you start to get it. Concepts being bent, giving rise to not actual forces. Am I going to have to kick you out because this is too difficult for you? Clearly too difficult for you to bear. That your belief is wrong.
Ask me a question, right? You are asking me a question.
I'm telling you, not asking you. Do you not like being told, sir?
I'm not used to it.
Did any of that
I'm not
sound like
used to being
Nathan was
told.
asking?
Yeah, well, shut up. And you, Arwin. I know you're not used to being told. It seems you're used to telling people what's what. Now I'm telling you. And all you need to do is shut your mouth while I tell you, and you struggle to cope with the fact that your belief...
I struggle to cope?
Yeah, this is you struggling to cope. Another interruption.
I don't have to be in your room.
Sod off then.
My God.
Sod off then. I'll tell the audience. The point is that while you're interrupting your useful friend to demonstrate how much of a struggle it is for fundamentalist religions with their belief in gravity. Yeah, mate, you don't need to interrupt and nod along. You don't need to interrupt me continually. Don't need to interrupt me, mate. Yeah, let's try it without him. So let's see how many people moan because I've got to shut down a line while I try and make the conclusion. This fundy has asserted that gravity's holding gas on, and I've tried about 5 or 6 times to explain to you, the audience, who I'm very sympathetic to, especially with only 5 minutes to go. He's trying to stop me from telling him that his assertion of his belief that bending a concept to give you a not actual force, yeah, that ain't gonna hold gas, mate. Yeah, now I know that you need to interrupt and play victim because this is devastating to your belief that you asserted that gravity holds gas pressure without a container. Now I realise that it's much easier to attack a belief I haven't made any assertions about, or listen to my devastating detailing of your incorrect religion and how it's wrong, but nevertheless, it's painful. So you got to squirm and play victim, or tell me that, yeah, I get it now that you've proven how wrong I am. Yeah, I get it, closing the gates so the audience can't hear. I know how you fundies squirm. I've been doing it for about 2 years. Tell me about how you don't need to be here whilst rumpusing the living crap out of it. You don't have to be here, mate. I don't need you here to point out how wrong your religion is. The fact that you can't tolerate it just shows my audience how painful this is to be a fundy. This is the reason depression is rife in the globehead fundy community. Because of people like you and the way you act. You can't take it.
When you drop a pen on the ground, like why did it go down?
Relative density, buddy.
Relative density?
Sorry, who cares? So what, you're going to whistle past the conclusion because you thought that by spending 5 minutes talking through me asking one question 15 times, that somehow obfuscated the fact that your belief asserted in regards to a force holding gas here doesn't fly, doesn't work. It's useless, and all you can do is obfuscate and interrupt. It's pretty pathetic, pretty sad. But what, now it's time to talk about relative density?
Well, yeah, relative density means that there is something that is up, something that is down.
Who cares? Right. Doesn't hold gas pressure. Just finding what is up and down won't... Excuse me, my friend, it seems that every time I talk, you've figured out that will be an embarrassing thing to let happen. So you're going to interrupt every single time I talk. I get it. Yeah, we already worked that around ages ago. People moan about my mute button. Yeah, but the reality is that I utilise this tool when I must. Because wankers are here, and they hate their religion being taken apart, so they talk constantly. They utilise a tool they have called the fundamentalist religious globehead fundy mute button. That's what they use, and it's what you're using. You don't want me to point out that we started by you asserting that gas pressure with a container was possible because of gravity. Right? Suddenly we've got containment in the form of this force by way of bending conceptual mediums, utilising time, another concept, in a fabric format that you can't show us, that doesn't hold gas because it doesn't give rise to an actual force. You ever going to address this, Fundy?
What I want you to tell me.
Oh, what you want me to tell you. So it's back to Nathan's view is much more important than addressing my zealotry. The fact that I've made an assertion that I believe in gravity holding on gas pressure and the fact that you've just pummeled it isn't going to get addressed by him. No. It's just going to be what I think. Who cares what I think? I'm just some guy.
Well, somebody raised relative density.
Yeah,
which
you.
is a-
Yeah, you. Because you wanted to get away from the fact that I pummeled your sky vacuum. The only thing you had to hold the gas here, beyond your sky vacuum that's not taking the gas away from us, yeah, was gravity. And I pointed out that concepts being bent won't hold gases, and now you want to move on to relative density descriptions from us.
No. I think the gas is being held to the Earth via gravity.
Right.
Hello.
Well,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Owen, we're back on the point where he actually wants to get back to it. Yeah, I know you believe that gravity holds the gas. I understand that. I'm not deaf or retarded. You, on the other hand, have had that handed back to you on a plate. Yeah? With a little bill from me. Your humility is the price of this incorrect assertion. And the reason it's incorrect is because the bending of a concept will not give rise to a force even in your own rhetoric. It's a not actual force that this bending of a concept gives you by way of Einsteinian horse crap. It doesn't hold gas. Now, you're never going to address it because it's so painful to have your ass handed to you by a flat earther.
Nathan, what I actually asked before...
I don't care! You made an assertion that gravity holds gas. It doesn't. You can't hold gas with bending a concept. I don't care what you're asking me anymore.
I'm asking you
I don't care what you're asking me. You asserted gravity holds gas. It doesn't. I want you to rebut that or at least acknowledge it in some way, shape or form.
How is it on a flat earth that...
How is it that I'm going to now hold up a new straw man because I cannot bear to address that I've got a fundamentalist religious belief based on them telling me the sky is a vacuum, and when that crap gets pummeled by a flat earther, you assert a new belief in gravity, even though that's the bending of a conceptual medium, and that won't give you a force even if you apply the rhetoric that's actually about gravity. A not actual force. Definitely holding gas pressure. No, mate. You're just wrong. Maybe try and address that rather than asking for Nathan's opinion like it's somehow important here. Yeah, that's what they turn into. Giggling retards when their religion's taken to pieces. And with that, I'll say if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A massive thank you to you all who smashed the super chat. In fact, let's do a couple of shout outs to you who did smash the super chat, as I think you got completely ignored. So shout outs to Logan's Run. Planes don't descend for curvature. Check my site. Logan's Run, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Winnie the Brew Bear, also massive shout out to you for the ladies of gravity you're pouring. Okay, thank you very much, Winnie the Brew Bear, really appreciate your support. And David Rakia Gefford, he says, 4 more hours, all glory to God. Creation proves the creator. Rakia Life, really appreciate your support. Massive kudos to you for supporting Nathan Oakley 1980. But as I say, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, farewell for now, but stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Said that gravity is not a force, right or wrong?
It is a kind of a force. It's not a very strong force.
No, you said it's not a force.
Of a force.
And then
Not a force.
Oh, God.
You're wrong.
Fraction force, a sliver.
Ninja,
a crumb.
you said
Force crumbs.
It is actually
refracted
of course
force.
It's a force, but it's
You
not
said
very
it
strong.
wasn't a
It's a weak
force.
force. Gravity is a weak force. All right. So let me put it in this way, right? You got a magnet Yeah, have you got a magnet?
Oh God.
No, we're not talking
You
about
haven't-
magnetic forces. I asked you to show me. I asked you to show me what.
Even a magnet
Sorry,
is
excuse
stronger
me.
than the
You're not just
gravity
going to whistle
force that
past me
we
and
have.
talk through me indefinitely. I asked you to show me the bending of the conceptual medium, not magnetism, not magnetism.
It's not a strong force.
I don't
Like,
care.
gravity
I want
is
you to
not a
show it
strong
me.
force.
I want you to show it me, and you're now going to magnetism. So you're just going to ignore my request to see it and show us something else, magnetism. I don't care about magnetism. I want you to show me pseudo. What does pseudo mean? Pseudo-Ramonian force space. Show me it. Pseudo-Ramonian force space. You can't, because it's a concept.
Well, if you have a fucking molten
Go on, swear, you
core
stupid
of
twat.
iron
Right,
in
you're starting
in
to
the
swear, are
middle
you?
of the planet.
So you're getting pummeled and getting angry and starting to swear at us. You fuckwit.
What? I'm not swearing at you.
Yeah, you did. You swore. So you are stupid. You're
said
stupid.
a molten core of iron.
You're stupid. You don't know what gravity is. You are stupid. You think it's a force and you are wrong. You're just stupid.
There's probably a hard iron core, like very like
Shut up.
in the solid.
Shut
center.
up.
So you went from magnets
Bye
to
bye.
a
I'm
hot
not talking
iron
to him
core.
anymore. Had enough. No. Wanker. Just complete wanker. What? So I will not address my fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum, no matter how much you pummel it, no matter how much you reiterate the point, no matter how much you bear with my rumpusing the living crap out of the point being concluded every time, no matter how much I circle jerk back to asserting that it's a force, that it's a weak force. No, it is not a force. It's the bending of a concept. It's not holding gas, and he'll never address it. He'll just segue away, get us to justify some claim we haven't made, make up a new straw man, or reassert the exact same point when he rumpuses the conclusion that he doesn't concede to. He's the same as every single fundamentalist religious ball-believing idiot that ever comes here ever. They cannot concede when they're wrong, because should they concede, oh, it's the worst thing ever, well, suddenly they've conceded that their bloody world isn't what it is. They might have to face their own stupid demons. They might have to face that the world's not a sphere in a vacuum. Yeah, the earth is flat, mate. Idiot. You just can't justify your belief beyond saying gravity, because that's the catch-all word that seems to solve all religious belief problems. Well, if I say gravity, I can endlessly waffle about total crap, and then at the end, when it's pointed out that it's just conceptual, I'll say it's a weak force. No, it's not force, you moron. How many bloody times do we have to tell fundies about their own religion?
Oh, but he also said that, well, maybe it is not a force, but if you combine it with something else, then that becomes a force. I thought it was fascinating
It's
alternative
contradiction
approach.
from the get-go. First he said, once Nathan pinned him down, that gravity is not a force. And then he jumped to acceleration. What is acceleration? It has to be a force. So he's back to force, but he's calling it acceleration.
Yeah, well, he's overlooking that any acceleration that we can measure over here is going to be caused by some actual force,
That's what I
engine
just
based
said.
or
Arthur.
whatever, motion, or it's going to be because of relative density disequilibrium, because that causes force, that causes displacement within the container, by the way. Very critical factor.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Relative density doesn't work without a container.
It's not a force, but it's a weak force.
That's a weak argument.
It's so weak that it's not a force.
It's not a
Okay.
container. It's an open container.
But I think what if it was a Schrodinger's container?
No,
and we
they're
don't know if
just
it is
talking.
open or not?
There's a guy in Discord wants to say something.
Good.
Go on. Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Speak!
Or forever hold your peace.
Hang on. they can't hear you at the Hangout, but he is speaking on Discord. I hear him on Discord, but you
Tell him to
guys
drop
can't
and
seem to
rejoin.
hear him.
Just tell him to drop and
Okay, why don't you
rejoin.
drop and rejoin, Nathan said, okay? All right, thanks.
4 more hours, man.
So he went from
Yo.
gravity's not a force
What's going on,
to
guys?
acceleration.
Let's play the Gravity song one more time.
What about now? Was it better?
I hear you. Does everybody hear him?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just wanted to get on here to say, man, every last one of you guys on this panel, y'all are freaking legendary, man. It just from the first time that I conversed with you guys, I was led on a bunch of new knowledge. And me, man, I'm the type of person that I don't give a flying fart in space what nobody thinks about my current standings or beliefs. So what I've been doing lately, right? I've been actually like postulating this whole thing, and I've been proposing this idea about the Earth being flat to like a couple of family members of mine, and I've just been challenging them to put across a point from their side to see if there was anything that was convincing to me or even to them that would, I guess, supersede what I'm saying and what you guys told me. I was talking about the gas without a container and like all of that shit, bro. And like just people in my family, man, they're like, what? Are you serious? They started thinking that the idea was crazy, but I got a lot of them really rethinking this whole thing, man. And I just want to thank you guys for that, man. I just wanted to let y'all know I'm starting to believe that the earth is actually flat, man. So just wanted to get that out.
Good going, man.
Is
That's
this
awesome.
Hey, is
Yeah,
his
good
name
job.
Tactic?
Keep it flat.
Your
Hey,
name
is this the gentleman we talked to last week? His name was Tactic.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, cool, man. Did you watch that video I sent you?
Yeah, I watched that along with a lot of other videos. Also there was something I wanted to let you guys know. So you remember when I was talking about the Joe Rogan interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? And how he was basically trying to explain gravity. Well, there's another interview that Joe Rogan had with Christopher, right? And this was 4 days ago. And I could tell that Joe Rogan, he felt a bit uneasy about that because he brought that up and he said, he was talking about gravity. You guys should check it out. It's 11 minutes and 10 seconds in. And it's the one that was 4 days ago. And he was talking about how he don't understand the gravity thing and how it seems as though Neil deGrasse Tyson, he was uneasy about it and he was struggling trying to explain it. So, bro, it's a lot of people that's starting to like, I don't know, reanalyze this whole situation, bro. It's crazy. And even in my school, I started presenting this idea, and like we be having little mini debates and stuff like that, and nobody so far has presented anything convincing. But yeah, I think that I don't know, man, but I'm thinking that 2020, I'm thinking this whole shit right here, y'all hard work is going to start bearing fruits. So yeah.
That's
It already
awesome, man.
bared some fruit with you, so
Yep.
carry on, sir.
Well, the fruits are already ripening, so agreed.
I would say everyone's plumb right. Can we get back
4
to
more
RC
hours, man.
Meisty's claim?
Yeah,
Nathan.
You've been hold on, QE. You've been trying to summarize it for the last 10 minutes, haven't you, 10th man? Feel free.
I'm trying to get to RC Meisty's claim of walking up the stairs and walking down the stairs. And I'm thinking of what we've said in the past about equilibrium and disequilibrium and bodies at rest. So I'm sitting down right now and I'm at rest. The minute I get up, I am working. I'm using potential energy. And my system can do that for a while, and then it's going to tire out unless I eat some food, get some water, and replenish itself. So I am at rest until I start working, whether that's walking downhill and the pressure's on my knees, or I'm going uphill and the pressure is on my lower back or wherever it's at. it is work. It is disequilibrium. I'm looking to get equilibrium back at rest. And being a dynamic system like the earth, I've got to eat, I got to sleep, I got to replenish, or else I won't go far without that. That's just my take. What do you think?
Yeah.
10th man, the dynamic system.
So what's the earth eating to replenish itself?
It's in cycles. It's not like it's replenishing. It's cyclical.
The sun's energy, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
The sun's energy is increasing entropy, but in terms of things like gas, it's just cycling.
Hey Nathan, we good for 7:30?
Remind me.
7:30 this evening.
So much more detailed. Yeah, no, I totally remember.
So much more detail. Well, I don't want to kill the show. Don't drop after the show's over. We got to talk for just 2 minutes. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
I had to come back and I missed what you said after my statement. Did I miss anything?
Said, awesome. You're absolutely right. Then we went on to cycles.
Yeah, I mean, when you work, you get tired and you have to rest, you have to eat, you have to replenish. And so if you're not working, you're at you're either resting and regaining energy as your body converts food into energy for future use. So him saying walking up the stairs means gravity is ridiculous.
What's gravity?
Exactly.
Well, now I guess it's walking up the stairs. That's what gravity is now.
Just walking upstairs. It was just a rubbish example.
So birds landing and now walking upstairs. All right. Fair enough.
Birds landing.
Don't forget the natural phenomenon in between birds landing.
The walking upstairs thing wasn't being asserted as a natural phenomena to prove gravity scientifically.
No, I meant the birds humping and the birds landing. Wasn't there a guy saying a natural phenomenon?
Yeah, so you've got that's two different things as well. So you've got birds humping as a natural experiment, and you've got birds landing as a naturally observed phenomena. Those are two different occasions where someone just happened to use birds in different settings.
A master's degree physics student, in fact.
Yes.
So the
correct.
mating sequence is now an experiment.
So just to make that clear, so the master's degree physics student was the one that declared that a bird landing would be a natural phenomena. Birds humping is something else, someone else, different time.
The greatest natural phenomenon ever, shoe. I've been trying to find, and I cannot find the episode for the life of me. I spent the entire weekend looking for this episode.
Yeah,
which
Nathan.
one it was. And I cannot find it.
Is that the same episode where a car was a natural phenomenon?
No, that was something else. No, so that was me explaining that you couldn't have one thing being something else.
It's very simple. It's in one of the 1,000 shows.
Well, I narrowed it down to it had to be around 3 months ago, because 3 months ago, Nathan named one of the shows Uncut and After Shoe, right? So it was right after that, I believe. Like he named it that by accident. We left it because it was, it's Shoe, whatever.
That's not right.
So it was around that time, but I can't find the episode.
That's not
That
right.
was like 898.
No, Righteous has got the date. So if you know the date and you can roughly figure it out from the date, then you'll find it. But no, when I called the show After Shoe, it wasn't accidental. It was definitely intentional, and it was considerably after she'd said that. So you might think it's 3 months ago because that's when I titled the show After Shoe, but it isn't. It's like way before that.
Really?
Somebody said June 15th. So I went back to June 15th and before and tried to find it, and I couldn't find it.
All right, so maybe I didn't go back farther enough. Maybe that's what it is. I stuck to 3 months, but I've been going through them, looking for like the comments where people are like shoo, because it became a thing. It's a thing. So I don't know. I'll keep looking for it.
Someone will find it. You'll find it. You watch. He found the.
Okay, the race is on.
Did you see
Who's
the
going to
clip?
find it first? And what's the prize, Nathan?
Kudos will be the prize.
The prize will just be hearing it.
Did you see?
That's the prize.
Did you see that Ute had found a clip from what's that geeky science program you were watching, Arwin?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang. Right. You found the section I think you were referring to.
Where it says scientific method doesn't prove anything. Something to that effect.
Yeah. If I can dig it out, I'll find it now. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, Chocolate, go back to maybe a private message I sent you. I think I may have made a meme on that shoe.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah, and you'll get the date.
You know, I've sent. Yeah, get that date, and it'll be close to that.
Okay. Let's see.
I mean, it shouldn't be that long to go back there. I mean, how many people private message you on Skype?
Who, me?
Yeah, like 3 or 4. You should come up on it right now.
Wow.
I think you're thinking of vanilla. This is chocolate.
A little popular.
Okay, you guys ready?
This seems like you're spending your time on YouTube archaeology, trying to puzzle together what happened in the past.
Pop yourselves on mute for a second. I'm just going to play this clip.
Of theoretical physics, in the world of theoretical physics, you never finish. So much is unprovable.
Is that the clip you were referring to, Arwin?
Sorry?
You were talking about the last episodes of The Big Bang, where he makes it clear that in theoretical physics, so much is unprovable.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were referring to when you said there was a clip where he basically declares that his field isn't proving things?
Could be, yeah.
Well, you trimmed
Wow,
it out.
that was an amazing climax there.
Sorry, I didn't go and look after the whole. I didn't watch the entire last season again, but it might be it. It sounded very much like that. Look, the guy in that series is just typically talking a lot of the typical rhetoric. So the way he speaks, that's a lot. Not getting out of my way. It's just very similar to the style and the approach of how many ballers speak when they try to explain things. It's just their priest language. It's really a separate type of language, in a way. So, yeah.
I've completely lost the point that you're trying to make with the recording.
Sorry.
It's like Star Trek engineering speak. It's its own language, but you could sit there and debate it for hours with other Star Trek fans. And none of it's true.
Exactly. It's more like music than it is actual description of reality. It's just
but it makes sense in the context of its own, universe.
In that guy's statement,
conceptual universe.
He made it kind of clear, like scientific, theoretical physics, so much is unprovable. Was that what he said?
Unprovable.
Is that what the clip said?
Well,
Sheldon, that guy?
Well, that reference to Star Trek was spot on.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. That was good.
Yeah, Sheldon Cooper is a theoretical physicist out of college. That's basically the show. Works with friends. They're all like super geeks, and they crash the Mars rover in one episode, and they bounce the laser off the moon in another episode, and it constantly reinforces the more propaganda.
Hello, one goes to the ISS.
Yep, the ISS episode. Yep.
Don't forget about that one.
Oh yeah, that was
It's
big
a theoretical physicist, an astrophysicist, an engineer that went to the ISS.
Yep.
Well, it's great. It's great that a real theoretical physicist came out and said, "In our profession, scientific method, we don't use that."
No, that's not theory. No, astrophysicist.
I know that's an archiver for sure.
Oh hell yeah! Thank you, Michio Kaku.
Can I hear it again?
Cosmology is wrong to the
Yeah,
10
do
to
it
the
again.
120.
You say that you make observations, you have a theory, you go make more observations, and it's a very, very tedious process. Wrong. Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork. It's guesswork. It's guesswork.
Classic.
I love the leap of logic part in there.
Yeah,
That's the big one, really.
Yeah, leap of logic. Yep.
Yeah, that one should have been repeated 3 times.
By the seat of
All
your
of
pants,
them.
it's like a roundabout way of talking out of your ass.
Guesswork, seat of your pants. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's
but
great.
don't miss the best thing he said. He said the scientific method.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah, he
knows
did.
it's not methods.
Not
He
alone.
officially denounced science in his field.
Hardly anybody's using it. They've all got scientific studies and natural experiments. They're all pseudoscientists, 99 point whatever % of them.
Yeah.
So there won't be any answers to the last housekeeping question anytime soon.
What?
Nope.
Any valid
That-
hypothesis?
That's
in the
why I
history?
posted that video as your answer to that question.
Oh, is that what that
Time.
was? Chocolate, that was the response. Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw Russian vids do it. I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I posted it in Skype at John and said, here's your answer to the question that you posed. Your housekeeping question. There you go. Coming straight from the horse's mouth. So yeah.
Said it before and I'll say it again. This is the turning point for our argument. As flat earthers, science is on our side. As globe earthers, you've got pseudoscience, pretender clown muppets that are, upon certain occasion, will declare quite overtly that they're not adhering to science, that they're doing it by way of guesswork, leaps in logic.
Seat of their pants.
Yep.
Guesswork.
Hey, Chocolate, got a gift for
Say that again.
you. I said I'm gonna send it to your DMs. I got a gift for
A GIF.
Cool, man.
Is it a GIF eruption?
I mean, we're joking, but that's where people should be outraged. Not endless rumpusing and, well, no, I still choose to believe in gravity, which is what we had here today. Or, no, you don't need a container, here's a open container. That's the kind of crap that you could just think, well, aren't you just outraged that you've been lied to? But no, they choose to continue to, peddle the lie for the liar in the face of clearly damning evidence against it. In fact, the destruction of the argument. Go on, Jimmy.
Pride is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is just pride.
I've never heard Brenda concede a point ever. Or most
She never had a point ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like she was wrong, I'm saying. She never conceded she was wrong about anything ever. Statistically impossible.
Well, like I said, a few years ago, I heard her on a hangout say that DNA was made from amino acids, right? And from that, I mean, you can't, how can you say anything to this person? I mean, just about 2 weeks ago, she goes, yeah, I made a mistake. No. That's not a mistake. Stepping on somebody's foot is a mistake, right? Or bumping into somebody, excuse me. No, that's a mistake. Saying that DNA is made from amino acids is moron, Dunning-Kruger, pretender clown Muppet. Just so we're clear.
That's amazing. She actually said she made a mistake about something.
The heliocentric system has nurtured a society at this, what I call the trenches, but ground level, of what John calls pretender clowns. And this type of behaviour is positively encouraged amongst our opponents in their community. So the Globetard community will literally pat you on the back if you make up complete horse crap, so long as you're saying at the end of that horse crap, therefore Earth's a sphere, you'll get patted on the back for being a complete moron and spouting utter rubbish.
All they're doing is taking Wiki, just mindlessly parroting Wiki or Discovery Channel, and the moment you dig for Micah Deep into their claims, it all falls apart. They start rumpusing because they don't know anything, because they're clinical level, Dunning-Kruger, pretender clown Muppets. Thanks.
And they'd much rather take apart an assertion that we've made. Where's your claim? Why aren't you explaining? It's like, so suddenly Nathan Oakley has got the answers for the sky. What, you're going to refer to me as a source for what the sky is, are you? Are you joking? Why am I suddenly a decent source of information about what the sky is? I'm not. But I'll be held to task for it. It's like, why? Well, because I'm holding people who do assert what the sky is to task in their bullshit. So suddenly I've got to come up with a just so story, have I? No.
The best part is when they actually make stuff up to fit their paradigm and as it's crumbling around.
It enrages me when they do it about me. Well, I've kind of heard you say that we live in a snow globe. You know, I'm nearly choking on my own rage when people say things like that. No, I don't assert what the sky is. I make it overtly clear I'm never going to make a claim in that regard. I'm even careful when paraphrasing their incorrect claim they say I've said, so that it isn't suddenly taken out of context to put quotes around that crap and say that I've said it in that regard. So I'm really careful about not claiming what the sky is, because I've got no necessity to. None. I can declare that the antecedent for gas pressure is a container. I can say we've got gas pressure as evidence for us needing containment. Yeah, we do. We need containment to have gas pressure. That's about as far as I'll make in that regard. Now, people can hold that to task. Oh, what's that? They can't? Yeah, that's why I won't take it any further than that and say, oh yeah, and by the way, the sky is actually a bloody sapphire dome. Why? Well, because I say so. Let's take that apart for the next hour. No, I don't make those claims. There's no need. And you, whoever's watching or listening, doesn't need to make a claim in that regards either. Do you need to know what the sky is or what the stars are? No. Would it be nice to? Yeah, I'd love to. I'd really like to know what the sun is. You know, it's a really baffling object that dictates the vast majority of our lives. So, yeah, I'd like to know what that is. Do I know? No. Do I know what it isn't? Yeah. I know it's not a gas giant in a vacuum. That's for certain. But that's what they say it is, and they make it overtly plain from the day you're born. And hell be it for anybody who doesn't agree. And we've suffered that. We know exactly what it is to disagree with just saying, oh, well, I don't believe that. You must believe our bullshit. How dare you say you don't believe? What is it you believe? I'm going to hold what you believe to task then. Why? I'm just holding your nonsense to... No, you're going to tell me what the sky is then. What? That's what you get if you challenge the rhetoric of a religion.
There's a lot of flat earthers I know that either went to concave or they just gave up because they didn't have some answers. Which, that's going to happen. Like, you're not going to have every answer, but that's a thing they feel like they're losing the debate about, because the globe side has an answer for everything. Even if they never prove it, they still have an answer. So does a cheating husband. A cheating husband has an answer every night. Doesn't mean it's true. It's just an answer to every question. You can leave blanks on a test and get an 80% and fill in every single blank and get a 50%. But at least the ones you answer are correct answers. We don't have to have every answer to everything right now. A lot of flat earthers get so frustrated with that and quit, or go to another model that answers maybe 2 questions.
That's part of the
in that
programming.
model.
Holding up an equivalent model in false dichotomy is part of the scheme of debate rhetoric. I don't know how they've done it. I can't even verbalize it correctly. But for some reason, there's always this position that they want to force you in where they hold your crappy, unaccountable bullshit model to task. Because if it fails, that means globe. So that's all that we ever get. And the people who are sick of it because they've fallen victim to somebody with a crap argument coming along and go, well, how do you explain it? And not recognising just a simple fallacy of burden of proof reversal. Well, that's why a lot of this show, over the course of its duration, has addressed logical fallacies as much as we have globe proof or flat earth proof. Because that's normally where people will, like you described, go, oh, well, I haven't got an answer for that. Do you need one? Why do you have to give an answer for something? It gets even more outrageous, even when something's as obvious as the evidence of your own eyes. It's on something on screen now, right? So, north end of the Isle of Man. That's the end of my explanation for that picture. There's the north end of the Isle of Man. Distance 34 miles. End of explanation. Well, no, because they're so hell-bent on holding up false dichotomy, they're going to explain away why we see something based on whether or not we should or shouldn't see it, if you're looking at a model that they reify into our existence and what the model says should or shouldn't be there based on the model. 10th man, you're making a right old racket. Thanks. So, yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll say, no, not only do I not accept the fact that you just say you can see it. Yeah, we can. It's there. There it is. Look, it is actually there. You know, it's gone now. But yeah, no, they won't accept that. No, our model says it shouldn't be there. So therefore, let's explain what it is, this holographic looming projection of this north end of the Isle of Man. I can model it out and show how the looming brought it back. You're like, well, why? I just see it. So it's holding up this false dichotomy, making sure they've got a position that you're holding up that they can take apart. And given that, like you say, like the cheating husband, there's plenty of answers on their side with intricately woven lies, well, you can go and refer to them and they seem more convincing than a crappy, guy on the street with a flat earth azimuthal equidistant projection of a globe. That somebody with a little bit of savvy in the subject can just say, isn't that a globe projection? Bang, end of argument. Well, no, it's actually projected flat though. Yeah, but from a globe. It's like, where are you going to go with that if you're a flat earther holding up your own crappy straw man model that's come from the elites in the first instance? You're not going to get very far when you're arguing the subject. And like I say, because of the way that the arguments are always structured in false dichotomy, you end up with, well, because the AE map fails, well, it must be a globe then. Because the argument's structured such that the failing argument's going to leave you with only one choice, globe. So you get to the point where when people use arguments like the affirming the consequent, they don't even realise that they're assuming antipodal positioning, i.e. you're travelling from north to south and just assuming that you're suddenly hanging off the bottom of a bloody ball. In other words, you've already got a ball in your mind, it already is a ball, and you're just going to make sure. And they don't recognise that that's a fallacy, that you're already assuming the thing you're trying to prove. Most people don't recognise that at all. And it's like, well, not only am I going to accept your version of events where I assume I'm antipodal when I make this star observation of things above me, I'm going to assume that they're completely below my feet in relative terms to where I started. It's like, why would you assume that you're going to travel out to the horizon and when you get to your location, suddenly where you started is under your own arse now? When you didn't experience any curvature, you didn't drop in the flight that you travelled along, there was no anything noticeable whatsoever to suggest that you went over a bend. You didn't. You know it implicitly. But because somebody says that the Earth is a sphere, you're going to automatically assume that no, the where I was is now under my arse, as are the stars I'm now looking at. They haven't stayed above my head for the entire duration of the flight. No. They kind of went underneath me as I went round, because I'm assuming I'm travelling to the bottom of a sphere now. So that idea, that arrogance, the indoctrination is so deep-seated into people's brains that they're more than happy to just assert it as default. It is just a globe, and here's my bullshit story that confirms what I've already presupposed in the argument I'm going to give you. Like the dude with gravity. Well, we already know gravity's real. Well, here's how it's not real. Gravity's a weak force. It still holds the gas. They know.
So the strength of gravity is somewhere between a hydrogen molecule and perhaps maybe a neon gas molecule or something, because hydrogen escapes Earth gravity. The other gases don't.
What's gravity?
The conceptual force.
No, wrong. Not even a conceptual force. A conceptual, not actual force.
Which is exactly what Ninja said when you asked him directly. He said, okay, it's not a force. And then he said it's acceleration. Well, look up the word acceleration. You're going to need a force or velocity for acceleration. So if it's not a force, how could it be caused by something that's not acceleration that cause? So what causes acceleration? A non-force force? It's just doublespeak all the way through. They don't see it.
And then he said it was a weak force. After he said, okay, you're right. It's not a force. It's a weak force.
Exactly.
Like part of a force, a partial force.
Of a non-force force caused by bending of something.
We're at the 2 hour mark.
Nathan says it's the best. Go ahead, say it.
I'm going to say I'm going to round out the show, but I'll give you that opportunity that you always desire, QE, as everyone rumpusses you immediately.
What's that?
Did you want a slot at the end of the show to say something really critically important?
Spectroscopy. Picky. Go ahead, bro.
What? No, he's not talking about that. I wanted Nathan to give his rendition of the non-force force that gives rise to a force that you can think of as a force, but it's not actually a force.
That was absolutely perfect. And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Another massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!